Welcome back to our deep dive series. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating book from 2024. It's Michael Thompson's Shy by Design, 12 Timeless Principles to Quietly Stand Out.
Right.
And our mission, really, is to unpack this pretty radical idea he puts forward.
Yeah.
That shyness isn't some flaw you need to fix. He actually calls it a design choice.
And incredibly, a quiet superpower.
Exactly.
Yeah, this book really pushes back against, all that typical self-help advice.
Oh, absolutely.
The stuff that's always telling you to be more assertive, more visible, louder.
Right. Get out there.
Thompson offers, well, a totally different way, a path to influence, to growth that values quietness.
So, okay, if shyness isn't broken, if it's this design choice, what does that actually mean? Like, how does that work in practice? How is shyness a superpower?
Well, Thompson's core idea is that you need to look inward. He's not interested in forcing introverts to act like extroverts.
Faking it till you make it here.
Not at all. It's about finding the strengths already in shyness. Things like reflection, stillness, precision in thought, real presence. And that really is a big shift from the usual focus on just, outward performance.
Okay, so to help us understand this quiet power, he uses these 12 principles, right?
Exactly. 12 foundational principles. And they nicely blend psychological insights with really practical tools.
And stories, too, I noticed.
Yes, lots of examples. It takes you from that inner awareness kind of step by step towards expressing it.
So where does he start?
Okay, so one of the first and maybe most counterintuitive principles is stillness is not stagnation.
Interesting, because we usually think stillness is, well, doing nothing.
Right. We see it as passive, maybe even lazy in our fast-paced world. But Thompson completely reframes it.
How so?
He argues stillness is actually a form of active engagement. It's a deliberate pause.
Okay.
A pause that lets you observe more deeply, make better decisions, and crucially, tap into real creativity.
So it's productive, just in a different way.
Precisely. He links it to things like meditation, creative rituals, even like ancient philosophy, where big insights come from that calm focus, not frantic activity.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about the quality of action, not just quantity.
Exactly. And that leads nicely into the next one. Say less, mean more.
Okay, another challenge to the norm. We're always told to speak up more.
Right. Contribute, constantly. But Thompson makes the case for, well, concise, really intentional communication. Saying less, but having it cut through the noise more effectively. He points to people like Lincoln or Eleanor Roosevelt.
Right, known for impactful, not necessarily lengthy speeches.
Exactly. Their words had weight because they were chosen carefully. He even talks about this technique, the power pause.
A power pause.
Yeah, using silence strategically, letting your words actually land, giving them space to resonate instead of just filling the air.
I like that. Using silence as a tool.
It's about impact, definitely not volume, which connects to the next principle, depth over display.
Okay, depth over display. What's the idea there?
Thompson suggests that people who are shy often naturally prioritize depth over breadth.
Meaning?
Fewer, maybe, but much more meaningful conversations. Or fewer projects, perhaps, but ones with greater originality, more insight.
So, quality over quantity again.
Kind of. He says quiet minds often go inward to places loud ones might just skim over. That's where novel ideas can come from.
And he gives examples of thinkers, artists maybe, who weren't exactly spotlight's hogs, but changed things.
Yes, people whose quiet, focused work really had a lasting impact, even if they weren't famous in their time.
Okay, this flips a lot of conventional wisdom, like the idea of confidence. We usually think loud equals confident.
He tackles that head-on with confidence without noise.
Confidence without noise. How does he define that?
For Thompson, confidence for a shy person isn't about being loud or performing. It's more like a deep trust in your own inner rhythm.
Your own pace.
Yeah, being really rooted in your values, your vision, your own authentic voice, not needing that constant external applause. He even includes a tool, the Silent Strength Index. It's like a self-assessment to help you recognize your nonverbal confidence, that internal resilience.
Interesting. So it's an internal state, not an external show.
That rootedness is absolutely key and flows right into the next one. Let presence speak louder than personality.
Okay, presence, not personality. What's the difference there?
He's not talking about charisma, being the life of the party.
Right.
True presence, for Thompson, comes from being grounded, really paying attention, being aligned with yourself.
Okay.
He calls it magnetic calm, that quality some people have where they just make you feel Seen, safe, heard.
Ah, I know people like that.
Right. It's not about them drawing attention to themselves. He has this great quote, "True presence doesn't enter a room to be noticed. It enters a room to notice."
Wow. That's a powerful distinction.
It really is. It shifts the focus entirely.
So we've covered quite a few principles. How does he kind of wrap this section up?
The final principle we'll highlight here is visibility on your own terms.
Visibility on your own terms. Sounds empowering.
It really is. It's maybe the ultimate expression of owning that quiet power. He challenges the idea that you always have to be out front.
You don't always have to be the leader in the spotlight.
Exactly. He introduces this concept, intentional invisibility.
Intentional invisibility, choosing not to be seen.
Choosing when, where, and how you show up. And, just as importantly, deciding when not to.
Okay, so it's strategic.
Very.
Well,
he gives concrete strategies like, publishing anonymously sometimes, or leading effectively from behind the scenes.
Or just creating something without needing the fanfare.
Precisely. Creating without that expectation of applause. It's about the work, not the recognition.
It's clear this goes beyond just simple tips. There's a deeper layer here.
Well, absolutely. If you look bigger picture, the book is steeped in, some deep philosophical ideas.
Like what?
You can definitely see influences from Stoicism that focus on emotional regulation, inner calm. There are echoes of Taoism, too, like the power of yielding, that idea of wu-wei, effortless action, doing through non-doing.
Okay.
You also get hints of existentialism, finding meaning and authenticity in quiet, internal spaces.
And maybe Eastern practices?
Definitely. Strong connections to mindfulness, that kind of cultivated attunement. These aren't just tactics. It gives the book a real depth, almost a spiritual quality.
And he grounds it in psychology, too, right? It's not just philosophy.
Yes. He uses solid psychological research to back up these ideas about traits we often misunderstand.
Like introversion.
Right. He mentions Elaine Aron's work on introversion and sensory processing sensitivity. Helps explain why some people are just wired differently, process things more deeply.
That's important context.
And he's careful to distinguish shyness from social anxiety. They're not the same thing. Shyness isn't necessarily a disorder.
Good point.
He even brings in things like the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Oh, where less competent people overestimate themselves.
And highly competent people often underestimate themselves, which might make them quieter, more cautious about stating their expertise.
Huh. Interesting connection.
And he draws on David Rock's quiet leadership model, too.
Yeah.
So it's all woven together with a pretty robust evidence-based foundation.
What about the writing itself? How does Thompson present these ideas?
The style is really part of the message, I think. It's very calm, almost lyrical.
It mirrors the topic.
It really does. He's encouraging, but never pushy, It feels like an invitation to explore, not a set of commands.
Gentle.
Very gentle. And he uses beautiful metaphors like, you are not a whisper in a world of noise. You are the pause between two powerful ideas.
Wow. That's lovely.
It makes you want to read it slowly, really absorb it.
Okay, so those are some definite strengths, but let's get a balanced view. Are there any critiques or areas where it might fall short for some readers?
That's fair. I mean, no book connects with everyone perfectly. One thing is, it could be seen as perhaps a bit low on challenge.
High on comfort, low on push.
Exactly. It's very validating, very comforting, which is great. But if you're looking for a book to really kick you into gear, this might feel too gentle. It comforts more than it provokes.
Yeah, I can see that. And I also wondered if it sometimes maybe romanticizes shyness a bit.
How do you mean?
Like, it focuses so much on the strengths, it perhaps doesn't fully address the really painful parts that can come with shyness.
Such as?
Well, like intense social paralysis in some situations, or just constantly being overlooked, chronic under-recognition in noisy environments. It doesn't offer a ton of strategy for those specific struggles.
That's a really valid point. It celebrates the quiet power, but maybe underplays the potential downsides or difficulties in navigating a world that doesn't always value it.
Right.
And another thing, it does lean heavily on reflection. The exercises are mostly journaling, introspection.
Which might not appeal to everyone.
Might not click as much for very action-oriented readers or people who just aren't naturally drawn to that kind of deep self-analysis.
Okay, so keeping those nuances in mind, who would you say this book is really for? Who's the ideal reader?
I'd say it's perfect for, thoughtful introverts, obviously. Creators, maybe sensitive leaders.
People who feel a bit drowned out sometimes.
Exactly. Anyone who feels overlooked or just uncomfortable in those really loud, competitive spaces.
And people looking for authenticity, maybe, rather than just self-promotion tactics?
Yes. If you appreciate books that feel more meditative, less like a high-energy motivational seminar, this is probably for you. It's a guide for contributing on your own quiet terms.
You shared one great quote earlier. Are there others that really capture the essence of the book for you?
Oh, definitely. I love this one. Not all leaders speak. Some simply become so deeply themselves that others are inspired to follow.
Leadership through being, not just doing.
Right. And also, your quiet is not a hiding place. It is a power source.
Reframing it completely.
And this one really stuck with me. When you stop trying to be visible for others, you start becoming visible to yourself.
Wow. Okay, that hits deep. It really turns the focus inward.
It does.
So thinking about it overall, Shy by Design feels like more than just a self-help book. It feels almost like an act of resistance.
Resistance against what?
Against this constant pressure for speed, for noise, for self-promotion that seems to define so much of our culture.
Yeah, I see that. A quiet rebellion.
Exactly. It's calling us back to something else, to finding strength in subtlety, power in the pause, the dignity in quietness.
Well put. It truly offers a different kind of roadmap.
For making an impact that maybe resonates more deeply, even if it's not the loudest.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Thinking about your own life, your work, your relationships. In what area could adopting a bit of intentional invisibility or using that power pause, where could that actually serve as your quiet superpower?
Something to definitely reflect on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
If you found this exploration valuable, please do like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss our future dives.